Former Pakistan Prime Minister Imran Khan has caused uproar by attacking the nation's army for not siding with him. Addressing a rally at Abbottabad's college ground on Sunday, 8th of May, Khan reiterated that only animals could be neutral. Imran Khan's reference to the fall of Bengal and Mysore because of the betrayal of Mir Jafar and Mir Sadiq was making reference to the army remaining neutral. Following his anti-state speech, Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif has said that the Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf (PTI) chairman must be reined in before he divided the country any further. He warned that if the situation was not controlled, Pakistan could meet the same fate like Syria and Libya. As a result, the Pakistan Electronic Media Regulation Authority on Monday 9th of May issued directives to private electronic media, warning them of legal action in case of airing content against state institutions, including the media. Imran Khan has been incensed by what he sees as betrayal by the army and the US, who have stood by as he was removed. Whilst Khan has been very open about what he thinks of the US, he has been giving regular speeches about the army and indirectly attacking the COAS. More people in the UK are struggling to afford to eat every day as food prices rise, according to research by the charity The Food Foundation. In the fifth richest country in the world, around 1 in 7 adults live in homes where people have skipped meals, reduced meal sizes, or gone hungry. Food has become more expensive as producers push their rising energy costs onto consumers. Anna Taylor, Executive Director of the Food Foundation, said the situation is rapidly turning from an economic crisis to a health crisis, which food banks should not possibly be expected to solve. The government needs to realise the boat is sinking for many families and it needs to be fixed. Bailing out with emergency food parcels is not going to work, she added. Egypt's government presented a draft budget for the new fiscal year 2022 to 2023 on Monday 9th of May, with more than half of the budget allocated to debt repayment. The draft shows a significant increase in allocations for debt interest that are expected to rise by nearly 19% compared to the current fiscal year. Spending for the 2022-23 fiscal year will rise to $112 billion, but revenues of only $82 billion. Since Sisi overthrew the Muslim Brotherhood government back in 2013, the military's government has only grown on national economy, but the living standard of people have nosedived as vanity projects consume government revenues. The military is believed to own over 50% of Egypt's economy, and with the nation's population growing, it's just a matter of time people will take to the streets as the military run the country into the ground. Finland's president and prime minister announced their support for joining NATO this week, moving the Nordic nation, which shares an 800-mile border with Russia, one step closer to membership of the US-led military alliance. Russia responded by outlining that Finland's possible accession to NATO would cause serious damage to bilateral Russian and Finnish relations, which are maintaining stability and security in the Northern Europe region. In a statement, Russia's foreign ministry said, Russia will be forced to take retaliatory steps, both of a military, technical, and other nature, in order to stop the threats to its national security that arise in this regard. Russia invaded Ukraine in order to strengthen its position due to NATO expansion, but its actions have now rebounded, with NATO possibly reaching right up to Russia's European border. In a New York Times report this week, it was revealed Jared Kushner secured a $2 billion investment in his private equity firm from Saudi Arabia's state-owned sovereign wealth fund, just 6 months after the end of the Trump administration. Jared Kushner, Donald Trump's son-in-law and former White House senior advisor, secured the massive deal despite being flagged for its inexperience and public relations risks by a panel of economic experts who screened the wealth fund's investment. Jared Kushner's new private equity fund plans to invest millions of dollars of Saudi Arabia's money in Israeli startups. Affinity Partners, which has raised more than $3 billion, including a $2 billion commitment from the kingdom's sovereign wealth fund, has already selected the first 2 Israeli firms to invest in. Israel is deepening business and security ties with the Arab states, nearly 2 years after Kushner. Former President Donald Trump played an instrumental role in the so-called Abraham Accords. The Saudi monarchy is now officially and openly abandoning its policy of supporting the Palestinian cause.